To toll or not to toll? Is it a question we need to ask again?
It's really difficult to add on more of an expense when you're already taking a car to work, you're paying for gas, all of that.
We spent probably an hour just trying to get into the city, but we definitely would have been taking the toll roads for getting into town.
Mixed answers from a few locals, but experts believe it's time to seriously consider it.
This is a significant experience, and it does point to some options for other cities like Toronto to look at.
When something is free, people will treat it as free, and therefore it gets over demand.
This discussion coming up once again after Manhattan became the first city in North America to implement this kind of charge earlier this month. According to officials, in the first few days of the year, total traffic in tolling areas dropped by 7.5%, or roughly 43,000 cars per day, compared to the same time last year. Similar initiatives are in place in London and Stockholm, and they also saw immediate drops in traffic after their tolls went into effect. If it were to happen here, though, experts say it may be a bit complicated to implement.
There's a lot of streets that come into the downtown core, so that can pose a challenge technically.
Would other levels of government be on board? Well, right now, it doesn't look like it. We reached out to the city and they tell us in part, Toronto City Council reviewed the updated long-term financial plan during its September 2023 meeting due to factors highlighted in the report, such as the requirement for approval by the province through an amendment to the City of Toronto Act. This revenue tool was not included in staff recommendations to council. The province also tells us in part, we will never add a tax or toll to any road in Ontario. We remain focused on building the critical infrastructure we need, including nearly $100 billion for new roads and transit to get people where they need to go each and every day.
No one wants to pay more for something that they're currently getting for free. However, we are paying for congestion every single day, even if we're not paying in tolls. We're paying for it in lost time. We're paying for it in lost productivity.
A recent study released by the Canadian Centre for Economic Analysis found that lost economic opportunity due to congestion in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area cost the region more than $10 billion in 2024.
The largest cost is the well-being, the quality of life of people. That's 3.5 times the economic cost. Congestion pricing, absolutely. But I think it needs to be in a framework that's transparent.
Now, this isn't the first time that this idea was considered. In fact, back in 2016, former Mayor John Tory wanted to impose tolls on the Gardiner and DVP, but in 2017, the provincial Liberals quashed that idea. In Toronto, Afua Baah, City News.